There's a war being waged by the March of Dimes, a war to fight premature birth and other infant health problems. Every year, more than 500,000 babies are born prematurely. More than 100,000 will suffer serious long-term consequences. 4,800 will die. Today, the March of Dimes is doing something about this American tragedy, and we need your help to prevent heartfelt situations like the Rentrops family have had to endure.
When he came in and began explaining the possible complications with such a micro preemie, I knew at that point our lives were going to change. I couldn't imagine an infant being born that soon without any issues. And when he was going over all of the possible issues I can't even start to list the different, possibilities of what could happen. But again, I knew that things weren't going to be the same, and we just prayed that we'd have a normal as possible baby, considering what we're going through.
At 28 weeks, after an indecisive ultrasound, a life-altering decision was made by the doctor.
And she said, "We're taking him now." And I just remember crying and saying, "No, you can't. We can't do this. My husband's not here yet." So I immediately called them, and they were on their way.
We arrived and basically just prayed until they took her.
We all just piled on my bed, my dad and Rich and I, and we just cried and said a prayer, and they took me off.
After a strenuous operation, baby Austin was successfully delivered premature.
They had already put him on a little table, and when I first saw him, it was shocking, emotional. It was I've never seen anything like it. He was so small and so fragile, but he was my son, and it was an amazing sight to see him 3 months before we expected to see him.
First time we got to hold him was at 34 days. He was on a ventilator for 34 days, so our hospital wouldn't allow us to hold him until he came off. And I'll never forget that day. We walked in, and we just looked at each other and wanted to scream because the day was here, most moms and dads get to hold them right when they're born, and he was taken from us. So it was just the most precious day to have him.
Months after Austin was born, he was finally released into the care of his loving family. However, after an intensive medical exam, little Austin stopped breathing.
I looked over at Austin, and the next thing I knew, he was blue.
I instantly ran around the other side of the car because Dawn was seated next to him in the back seat, pulled him out, noticed that he was completely lifeless. Laid him down on the back seat and immediately administered CPR. That CPR training that we received in the NICU was priceless at that point. It was something that just kicked in, like, I need to get this kid breathing. I need to do what I have to do to get him breathing.
Rich saved his son that day, and although there have been continued complications with Austin, nothing has measured up to the terrifying moments of the day that he stopped breathing. Today, Austin is in good health.
He's just an awesome little boy that just loves life. He just is so full of energy, and he's just our pride and joy.
And he loves to sit on my lap and just read and have me read to him. Sometimes he'll try and read himself, or at least act like he's reading. He loves words, he loves learning.
The March of Dimes is inspired by all babies, those born healthy and those who need our help to survive. There are the millions of reasons why we are standing behind our urgent mission. You can give hope for healthy babies. You can help fund research. You can help fund vital programs. You can make a difference. Help fight for healthy babies. Give every Austin a chance.